Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday from me and Popcorn. You can see her back there. She's in a very playful mood. She's getting all of her toys. You say hi to everybody, Popcorn. Um, so today is Tuesday. What that means is that we're doing our Facebook Live, and Instagram, TikTok. Hello, all of you on all of the various social media outlets. And this is our weekly English update video. As most of you know, we're doing a Spanish video Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. It's a 30-minute show on La Raza 95.1. We're also streaming here online. Hey, Nancy. Hello to you and the whole family. But I'm still coming here once a week to do an English update video because not every one of our followers prefers to speak in Spanish. So I want to make sure that you guys are also getting the content. If you have a question, put it in the comments. Regardless of what platform you're on, I will get it. If you want to schedule a free consultation, just put consult in the comments and we'll message you to schedule your free consultation. We have no charge for our consultations. They're totally virtual. Of course, they're confidential. So there's really no reason if you have any questions about your immigration case to just reach out, message us, call us at this number on the screen, text us at this number on the screen. We are easy to reach. We're here to help you guys. So that's enough of that. So the updates of the week are, we get to share good news updates lately, which is a whole lot more fun than, what we've been doing over the last 4 years. So the first thing we'll touch on is immigration reform. As I've covered with you guys a lot, immigration reform has been proposed. The big bill was proposed, the Biden immigration reform package. It was proposed by I think it was a congresswoman in California. I need to look up her name and learn more about her. But, it's going through Congress. There's other bills that have been proposed. I mean, what happens in the legislative process is all the legislators throw in their proposed legislation. And one of the bills basically gets traction. It's the one that gets out of committee. It goes to the full floor for a vote. And all of the ones that sort of died, that didn't get out to the floor, legislators will start to tack on parts of their proposed legislation. Compromises happen. The two sides, the House and the Senate, then, have to rectify the two versions that pass. So far, nothing has passed. Any immigration reform at all has passed either floor. So you guys will be hearing a lot about that when any big hurdle is overcome in the legislative process in an immigration reform bill. You'll hear all about it. I'll be here telling you about it. So right now, everything's just sort of in this phase of which one is going to gain traction. The word on the street, of course, is that, there's a lot of support on both sides, the Republican and Democrat, for legislation helping the Dreamers or getting permanent status for the Dreamers. So I think we can confidently, expect that something along those lines will come out. Whether the big, amnesty style, legal status for the undocumented population will happen or not is really up in the air. I certainly hope it does, because this is a window of opportunity. When we get to the next federal elections, nobody really knows how that's going to adjust control in Congress. And so this might be the opportunity of this administration to pass an immigration reform package. But anyway, all of that is still up in the air. So in the meantime, if anybody tells you they know what's going to say, or they can sell you a service related to immigration reform, that's an indication that it's probably some sort of fraud, and you should watch out, because nobody can file for anything based on immigration reform yet. Okay, other good news updates. TPS was announced for Venezuelans. Temporary protected status is a program that provides work permission to people who are displaced from their countries and they're in the U.S. when something happens in their home country. So like for Hondurans, Salvadorans, it was after a big hurricane. For Venezuelans, it's been a long time coming due to the total collapse of the government there. And finally, it was announced last week on March 8th. So Venezuelans who are in the United States as of March 9th, who have Venezuelan citizenship, can apply for TPS, temporary protected status. The window to file is anytime between now and September 5th. You have to file before September 5th. And then you need a work permit for 18 months. And obviously, a driver's license, social security card. Any Venezuelan who is not a permanent resident or a U.S. citizen should be filing for TPS, even if you already have a work permit because you have a pending asylum case or you have, an employment case pending. I think it's a good idea to at least, at minimum, file for TPS, for temporary protected status, which the filing fees are not high. I think it's $50 if you're not also applying for a work permit. If you're filing for a work permit, depending on your age, it's about $545. But if you're just doing TPS because maybe you have a work permit through another case, it's only $50. I'm just talking about filing fees. And every Venezuelan should take advantage of this, what do they call it? Whatever, the first registration period to get yourself into TPS status because, like the immigration reform bill says, anyone who has DACA, TPS, or farm workers can jump directly to permanent residence. And so it's going to benefit people to have TPS, even if you've already got something else pending. It's a good idea to do that. So if you have any questions, like with all of this stuff, put a comment in comment console. If you just want to meet with us privately, if you don't want to share your question with the world, just comment that you want a consultation and we'll reach out and schedule it with you. More good news updates. Public charge is done. It went bye-bye. So we knew it was going to happen last week when the Supreme Court case picking up public charge came to the court and the DHS, the government side announced that they were not going to be pursuing their position any longer. So we were all like, okay, well, when can we stop filing public charge? That happened the following day. The I-944 form disappeared from the website and they announced that we don't need to do it anymore. Popcorn's looking at me because she wants to go outside, I think. Come here. You want to say hi to everybody? Isn't she the cutest? You are the cutest. We like to say she's like a real life Stuffy. She's like a living teddy bear. That's what she is. She's the sweetest. I got distracted by my dog. Okay, we were talking about public charge. So the 944 disappeared from the website and it's major celebration mode for immigration lawyers because that form, the application for public charge is such a burden, obviously on our clients as well. But I think the biggest cause for celebration in the immigrant community is the fear that goes away when public charge is no longer in effect, because what ended up happening with public charge, even though it was this very narrow application of, if you're filing for a green card based on family, you have to submit the 944. The message to the immigrant community was any receipt of public benefits by any immigrant or someone in their family is going to negatively impact them. And so U.S. citizen kids stopped receiving CHIP and other public benefits. And so it's had a really chilling effect on the receipt of public benefits in mixed status families. And of course, these are, kids who need these services. So I'm really happy to see that public charge has been lifted, more about the message that it sends to the immigrant community than anything else. But also, we don't have to submit the I-944 anymore with adjustment packets, which is nice. So the one, not bad news, but it is bad news. The one bad news item that I have for today is about filing delays. Hi, Tippis. Thanks for being here today. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service is really backlogged in processing mail. So what that means is when you file an application, like any kind of application, even if it's an I-130 or a work permit, green card, whatever it is, usually you get a receipt notice back in the mail within several weeks. And that receipt notice obviously is proof that your application was filed, but it's also gives you your case number and you get to track your case. And it's just very relieving, of course, to get this document from immigration that says your application has been filed. Well, unfortunately, they're really backlogged in the mail rooms. And so what we're seeing is up to 3 months just to get a receipt number back in the mail. And so that window where you filed but you haven't heard back from them can be very nerve-wracking because you've mailed all your documents, your payment, and you don't even know if it was received. So basically there's 3 tips that I have for any, and obviously these are things that we do for our own clients, but anytime something is sent to immigration, a copy needs to be made. of the entire packet. The forms, the way that they were filled out, every item of evidence, the cover letter, the whole packet needs to be either scanned or copied, or, photos of the document. So if it does get lost, then it can be recreated. And we take a lot of cases from people who filed on their own and then something got messed up, or, they need some help, and they didn't keep a copy of their application as it was sent in. And that really makes our job harder when we don't know what's been given to immigration. So really, really want to make a copy. The second thing is, anytime you're going to mail important documents, including an immigration application via the mail, make sure you send it in some way that can be tracked. So FedEx, of course, would work. But if you're going to send it via the U.S. Post Office, then you should elect certified mail, which gives you the little card that is evidence that first of all, you can track it, and it's your evidence that it was received. So like if you file something in a deadline and your deadline is Friday and your packet was received Thursday, well, things are so backlogged at the mailroom, they may make a mistake and not receipt your case until Monday, which would be too late under your deadline. So you need that proof that you filed it in time to protect yourself and to track it and make sure that it was delivered. So that's number 2. Number 1 is make a copy. Number 2 is send it certified mail. Number 3 is don't pay with the credit card form, because if something goes wrong with your card, your packet gets rejected. We hate those credit card forms. You should pay with a check. And what happens is when they deposit the check, I'm talking about the filing fees. When they deposit the check, on the back of the check, they stamp it before they deposit it. And the stamp contains the case number. So this has happened for us before, when we didn't get the receipt number in the mail, but we could actually go online at our bank account, look at the scan of the cashed check and get the case number, and then check the case status that way. So those are the 3 ways to protect yourself in the era of receipt notice delays: are make a copy, send it certified mail, pay with a check. And of course, like I said, these are all things we do in practice for our own clients, but I know that not everyone watching this video is a client. And so this is important stuff I want you guys to know. Also on the delays, definitely we're seeing delays on biometrics, on fingerprint appointments, because they were closed for 9 months last week. They're still playing catch up. And so people who have missed appointments are seriously backlogged. And of course, that is a very stressful thing, because it affects the processing of work permits, and it's not fun. So you're not alone. Delays are happening to everyone on receipt notices and biometrics. But if you have a question about your case, there's no charge. Just call us and we'll talk to you about it. Call us, text us at this number, put consultation in the comments. You know how to reach, how to find me. Those are the updates I had. We're still doing the radio show every day. Today at 5, we have Stephanie Chavarria from Foundation Communities coming to talk about taxes, immigration and taxes, because of course it's tax season. And so we had a lot of questions about, like, how do you get an ITIN? How do you file head of household? Who can you claim as a dependent? What if you get paid in cash? All those tax questions. We're not going to have enough time to answer all the tax questions, but we'll have Stephanie to answer the big ones. And then, of course, Foundation Communities is a great resource for anyone needing help on their taxes, especially for immigrant or mixed status families, because they're bilingual, they're virtual, they're not charging. And if you earn too much, if you earn too much to qualify for their services, they can then refer you out to, reputable tax preparers who can help you. But we always start with Foundation Communities. Last point of the day. Yesterday, we talked about the T visa program. I want to just mention it to you guys. It's an often skipped over, forgotten about program in immigration. A lot of people know about the U visa, the crime victims visa, for people who have suffered like a violent crime, rape, aggravated assault, domestic violence, kidnapping, and make a police report. And then you can get a certification from law enforcement, apply for the U visa. And of course, we love the U visa program, not only because it protects victims and it secures public safety, but also it's this very generous program that contains a lot of waivers. If you have lots of entries and exits or even criminal history, you can waive it under the U, and you can include an entire family. So like if a child is the victim, the minor siblings, the parents can all be included in one family. And it's a way that an entire family can really benefit from something difficult that happen. Well, I just want to throw out there and mention that the T visa exists. It's a lot like the U visa, except rather than being for victims of crime, it's for victims of trafficking. And most of the time when we think about trafficking, we think of like sex trafficking or child trafficking, where people are like literally being kept, locked in an area and forced into sex work, which of course is human trafficking. But it's actually much broader than that. It's anytime someone's in the U.S. due to force, fraud, or coercion in the workplace. I'm sorry, I have like this frog in my throat and my tea is not fixing it. So I'll wrap up soon so you guys don't have to hear me coughing. But basically, the T visa can apply to contractors who did a job and didn't get paid, to nannies who aren't being treated fairly or paid fairly, to restaurant workers who suffered some way in the workplace. So just keeping in mind as you're thinking about, well, I'm undocumented, I don't have any U.S. citizen family members, I don't have an employer who can petition for me, I haven't suffered domestic violence, there's nothing for me. There are these other little unknown programs. And by unknown, I mean a lot of the community doesn't know about it. And so I know that immigrants often compare their situations with their friends or their family members because it seems on its face like your case, your history is just like your neighbors or your friends or your cousins. And so because they went to a lawyer and found out there's nothing that can be done, that also means there's nothing can be done in your case. Or because their case looked a certain way, that means your case is going to look a certain way. And the thing that I know after doing this work for 15 years and working on thousands and thousands of immigration cases is that every immigration case is like a fingerprint, right? They're all different. And there are benefits and outcomes available to certain people that other people don't know about. And a lot of this stuff also is very private and personal. There are things that people don't know about each other's situations. So it's just a little tidbit, little reminder to explore your options in a consultation with a reputable lawyer. Don't just talk to your friends and family and take their advice about whether you qualify for DACA, for example. So give us a call. We're happy to talk to you about it. And we don't just push services on people at our firm. We're not going to offer a representation if there's not something that we can do that we think will be successful. So every single day, we tell people on consultations, we can't help you. There's not a service that we would recommend for you at this time because we don't think we could be successful or we think it would put you at risk. And these people have to, go away knowing that we can't help them, but they're informed. And so it is a value for people to have that conversation. But I share this with you so that if you're on the fence about I don't think there's anything I can do, just call us. We'll be honest with you. If there's nothing that you should do, we'll tell you that too. So those are the updates. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. I will see you today at 5:00 to talk about taxes en español. And in next Tuesday, we'll be talking in English again with updates on whatever's going to come in the next week. So hope you have a great week, everyone.